Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement with Robbie Fox. I am here with UFC President Dana White, recapping UFC London, previewing UFC 277. We got a lot to talk about, Dana. Let me start by just asking, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very well. Obviously, after UFC London, I think everyone from Barstool's doing really well. And I want to start there with UFC London. What were your overall impressions of the event?
Yeah, the prelims weren't exactly barn burner, but the main card delivered, and that's all you can hope for.
Yeah, why didn't we see you there this time?
So, the last time, which was Singapore. No, I went to Miami, Singapore. Right, was my oldest son's birthday, and then this time was my youngest son's birthday. So he asked me to take him to our place in Maine, so we went up there.
All right, that's nice. That's like you take off for one son's birthday, you kind of got to do it for the other son, right?
Yeah. And then my daughter's is coming up in August. What do we got in August? Nah, I won't miss anything for her birthday. Hers is August 27th, so we're good.
And I assume you'll be at UFC 277 this weekend.
Yeah. I'm flying out there on Wednesday night, I think.
All right, so talking about UFC London, let's start with the Meatball, Molly McCann. Unbelievable performance. What did you make of the performance and then the celebration, jumping right into Dave's arms?
Yeah, no, it was awesome, man. Yeah, it was awesome. There's just this entirely. I try to tell people there's this different vibe, man, when you're in London or anywhere in England or Ireland. England or Ireland, it's the fans are absolutely awesome, man, and Scotland too. I got to throw Scotland in there too. And it's a very unique experience when you go to an event out there.
Are those places that? Oh, of course. Are those places that you'd like to get the UFC back to? Scotland, Ireland?
Yeah. I mean, we want to take it all over the place. Get back, like I've been telling you guys too. I want to go to Africa. A lot of places we want to hit, but who knows, man? I'm seeing craziness in the news again. We'll see what happens.
Oh, geez. Is Molly McCann the greatest walking howlerhead commercial of all time?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. You know what I need to do? I just need to do a deal with Molly.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you honestly do. Give her the bag. She deserves it. I
love the back and forth with her and The Rock too. That was awesome.
The people's meatbo? Come on. Right? So awesome. International superstars, they truly are. And she called out Antonina Shevchenko in her post-fight presser. Do you think that's a fight that makes sense?
I don't know. Well, matchmaking's today, right after this tour.
Oh, really?
Right, we dive into matchmaking and start figuring out what's next.
Yeah, let me know if you want me to just stick around on the call. I'll help you guys out.
I would love to have you in a matchmaking meeting sometime.
Maybe that could be like a future
very few fucking
thing.
People that I like. You understand that, right?
Wow.
I actually like you.
I appreciate that. That's a big honor to be one of the few. Yeah. On to Paddy The Baddy Pimblett, another guy that you like, I assume. When we talk about the fastest rising stars in UFC history, people keep putting Paddy's name up there. I mean, you've got the analytics. His name deserves to be in that class, correct?
There is no doubt about it. I mean, I wasn't in the arena on Saturday night. You were. That was some Conor McGregor shit.
It was. It was a main event feel the second he walked out. You did the main event lights like the UFC did it for him, obviously, and it felt right. It was like such a huge vibe. He said that he feels like his next fight is going to have to be in America, somewhere bigger. Do you think that's the case for him?
He's not wrong. He's absolutely right.
Yeah, the O2 starting to get a little too tiny for Paddy The Baddy. Crazy. 3 fights into his UFC career, right? We're talking like this?
The O2 is never too tiny and never overplayed, man. I can't say enough about doing fights in London. And I was watching on social media, Portnoy was loving London. I mean, London, from the first time I went to London to today, London is a badass city, man. Great restaurants, great shopping, unbelievable hotels. I keep trying to tell the fans, you have to, if you're from any other part of the world, you have to experience one of these events in London at the O2. It's a very, very cool experience.
I agree. I've been to fights everywhere. I've been to Fight Island. I've been to Vegas, New York, London. There's no environment like London. You're saying it, and it's very true. Like, it's my favorite fight environment that I've ever been in for sure. And like we
Yep.
were saying, it's Meatball Molly and Paddy. They're the second, fourth fight on the card. Both of them felt like main events. The pop, I mean, it almost like played out in Molly's favor that the prelims weren't as exciting as they were last time, because she was really the first big thing that everyone got to cheer for, and the place came unglued. I mean, the roof came off the place. I couldn't believe she landed another spinning back elbow.
I know, right?
Absolutely insane. And then in the main event, Tom Aspinall unfortunately suffered kind of a weird injury, back-to-back weeks where main events have gone like this way in the first round. Have you heard from him about his condition at all, or how long he's going to be out?
I have not. I don't know yet. We'll know more this week too.
And I saw Curtis Blades say that he doesn't want to wait around. He just wants the winner of Tavasa and Gane. Do you think that makes sense for someone in his position right now?
He wants the winner of. Well, I never like when guys say, "I just want to wait around." That's
Of course, yeah.
patented worst move of all time. Look back throughout history for guys that said, "I just want to wait around," and see how that plays out for you. That story ends the same every way, every time. But yeah, I could see him fighting one of them, or who knows? We'll see what happens.
What are the other big Dana White pet peeves when dealing with fighters?
What's the other way?
Pet peeves, like someone saying, I want to wait around or something like that.
I'm going to wait around for this, and I don't want to fight him. He's my friend. Those are my two biggest.
You hear someone's friendly, so you're like, it's just fucking fighting. Who cares?
Yeah. Friends. Yeah, we're friends.
So speaking of Aspinall and Blades, heavyweight as a division is in a very interesting spot right now between some injuries, some fighters in limbo. Has there been any update on John Jones or Stipe Miocic since the last time we talked?
If there was, I would have already said it. You know what I mean? You know me. I like to keep all this stuff quiet, because most of these MMA media guys, I don't fucking trust them at all. And yeah, what happens is a bunch of bullshit. No matter what I say to you on this interview, there'll be 15 assholes that from other MMA sites. This isn't even their interview. It's your interview. And they will take bits and pieces of your interview and completely spin what was said into something different. And yes,
it's fair enough.
It makes me fucking crazy.
I've seen that happen before. Before we totally move past UFC London,
I do one of these.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Yeah, you're a polarizing guy with the MMA media. Before we totally move past, you.
Oh, it's me. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Any other fighters on that card that really impressed you with the performances? I know Nathaniel Wood had a very good one as well.
You know, I have a fight on Saturday, right?
I know that.
Are we going to talk about that fight?
We are. That's my next question.
Why are we in the past for like the first
UFC? Because you didn't do a no post-fight presser. You couldn't make your way over there for our guy Paddy the Baddy. So I gotta get him some good quotes. You talking up Paddy? You talking up Molly? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you had to think about the card, I mean, those two were the highlight of the card. But yes, the whole main card delivered. Really did deliver. Thank God. We needed them to deliver after, and especially with the main event going down again in the first couple seconds of the fight. And
that might be the kiss of death. I was there for Long Island. I was there for London. I might be causing these main event things. Who knows?
Yeah, you're bad luck, kid. Aspinall was landing some good shots. Blades was landing some good shots. I mean, those two were getting into it. That was heating up and starting to look like a good fight, just like the Ortega-Yair fight.
Yeah. And like you said, you've got fights this Saturday on UFC 277, but you've also got fights tonight. The Dana White's Contender Series is back as well. Is it coming back with fans? Are we going to have fans in the building for this?
Shit, I don't even know if we're going to have I don't think so. We're going to have this fight will have, some family members and people that are, associated with the teams, but not open to the public. And yes, season 6, episode 1 of the Contender Series tonight on ESPN Plus. I'm very excited about that. You know, these fights are always insane.
You've got to be stoked. Yeah. How much do you know about the fighters when they actually come in?
Nothing.
Do you get like a rundown? You know nothing.
I don't know their names. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they're from. I don't know anything. So what I like to do is I like to go in there. I sit down. There's a one sheet that tells me a little bit about them. And then I watch their feature, and then I watch them fight.
So who is it that finds them? Is it the matchmakers or a totally separate team?
Yeah. Sean and Mick put this whole fight together. And then I walk in without knowing anything or seeing any of them. I don't know whose team they're from, what camp they're out of, any of that shit. I don't want to know anything about these guys. I want to go in there with a blank canvas and have no what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to favor
like
anybody.
Preconceived notions.
I just want to see them fight right there. It's literally right here, right now. I don't give a shit what you did the last 4 years of your career. Obviously, you're here because these guys think you're fucking good enough to possibly be here. Right here, right now, show me who you are and what you got.
Is there any part of the Contender Series that you actually enjoy more than like a UFC event with a sold out crowd, just because it's such a different thing for you?
I love the Contender Series.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. I could literally do that every Tuesday for the rest of my life. I love it.
Wow, that's awesome. And it's going down tonight. Obviously,
Lorenzo's
watch
coming
it. Yeah.
tonight too. Lorenzo's coming for the first episode.
Oh, nice. Has he ever come for one of those or no?
Yeah, I think he's been to one before. So I get to watch him.
I'd like to come to one. I've never been to the Contender Series. That's like one of the fight environments that I'm missing out on.
You should do it before the end of this season.
I would love to. We'll have to find a good a week where I could make it out there. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, you should do it.
All right, now talking about this weekend, UFC 277, Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes 2. We're talking about Nunes as the GOAT in the lead up to this fight, women's MMA, because she's earned that title at this point. Do you think if Juliana beats her in the same fashion she did the first time, we have to take that title away from her, start talking about, is Juliana the GOAT because she beat the GOAT twice?
It doesn't change the fact that Amanda Nunes is the GOAT. I mean, she's going to go down. That's her legacy. She'll go down as the GOAT. Juliana winning on Saturday solidifies her with fans, fighters, and media that the first one wasn't a fluke. And then she will be on her own journey and create her own legacy after this.
Yeah, and there's a ton of great names on that card.
Volkanovski had to fight Holloway.
Fact. 3 in a row.
Right?
Well, not in a row, but, you know, 3 fights. Yeah. There's other great names on this card, too. I mean, Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France 2, Paulo Costa, Derek Lewis, Anthony Smith. What else are you really looking forward to on this card?
I mean, it's really hard not to be excited and think about the main event. You know, what Amanda is going to show up. You know what Juliana's showing up, the crazy, fired up, total belief in herself, Juliana Pena is going to show up. And if the real Amanda Nunes shows up, this should be an awesome fight.
What have you thought of Juliana's just total championship mindset? Since she won the title, she's been doing a ton of media, right? She's been out there for the UFC, representing the brand well, I think.
The day I met her, she walked, my kids were little. They were doing a jiu-jitsu tournament at some gym here in Vegas. She literally walked into the gym, rolled right up to me, put her hand out and said, I'm Juliana Pena. I'm going to be your women's female champion or your women's world champion someday. Da-da-da-da. The fucking day I met her.
You love stories like that. I know you do. I love
that shit.
Yeah.
I love people that think like that. I love people that have that kind of drive and people who manifest stuff like that to happen. And she did it. Not only did she do that, she won the Ultimate Fighter. And, you know, and every time Juliana shows up, man, you have better have done your shit because she's showing up to fight.
Yeah, if you had a UFC self-belief wing of the Hall of Fame, she would go right into it. I mean, after UFC 200, she called out Amanda Nunes and was like, I'm going to be the one to beat you. And everyone and their mothers was like, is this girl crazy for calling out Amanda Nunes? They laughed at her. Yeah, I was one of them. I was like, she's out of her mind for calling out Nunes. And then she went and did what she did to her. So that's this weekend. I can't wait for the whole card. It's going to be a good one. A news item from today that I saw just before we went on, Dustin Poirier's representative said that it appears Chandler will be next for him. He said the UFC has not offered that fight, but he just thinks that's the one that makes sense next. He said Chandler's looking for a whooping. He's going to get it. Is that a fight that you're interested in?
Yeah, I'd make that fight.
I think that's, a fan favorite fight for sure. And then talk to me about a fight that you finally made, Nate Diaz versus Hamzat Chimaev. We've heard about this one for a long time. It's a 5-round title fight. This one has everyone talking right now.
Yeah, listen, it's a fight that people want to see. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And imagine the energy in the place when those two walk.
Is there going to be plans to do like a press conference with those two? Because I really want to see that as a fan.
That I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to talk to this one up there about that one. But, you got a Diaz brother and a guy from friggin' Russia. I don't know about how easy it will be to pull off a press conference, but we'll see.
I would love to see it. Just the fan bases on both sides as well are crazy. It reminds me almost of the Diaz Masvidal, like when you guys ran it up with the BMF title run and all that. Did the press conference, New York, Pier 17. I loved all that. I love when, especially for a non-title fight main event, you kind of like make it up to be like a bigger event. That's just personally as a fan, love that stuff. And then Sugar Sean getting a huge step up in competition against Petr Yan. He was out in London. He did the press conference with Michael Bisping as well. Looking forward to the step up in competition there. Talk to me about this matchup, because another one where I feel like everyone is just talking about this. I can't believe Sugar Sean's jumping up.
Yeah, well, that Fight Island Abu Dhabi card is badass.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, I agree. O'Malley was ready. He wanted this fight. He wanted Petr Yan. We kicked it around, battled with it a little bit back and forth. Yan wanted the fight, made all the sense in the world.
And then the third,
Makachev, you got Sterling and Dillashaw, Yan and O'Malley, Dariush and Gamrot. Did we announce that yet?
I believe you did.
Yeah. It's going to be a badass card.
It is, and I want to ask about one more fight on that card. It is the Makachev versus Oliveira. No, I won't be in Abu Dhabi. Will not be making another appearance there. But Makachev versus Oliveira. Oliveira said today he's just looking at this as another title defense. In his mind, he is the champ. Do you feel the same way?
Listen, this is a big fight. If you look at what Oliveira has accomplished in his career, and you look at the trajectory that Islam Makachev has been, but this is a big test for Islam too.
Yeah, of course. I was looking at Oliveira's records today. He's got like the most wins, the most finishes or whatever. He's got the most finishes in his division, the most submissions in his division. He's up in all the record books. It's crazy the stats that he's put up over the years. But I assume you would look at this as kind of like another title defense for him, because even though he's not the champ, he feels like the champ, right? That's what he does to me.
Yeah, listen, technically, he's not the champ, but he's the champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Any update on the annual Madison Square Garden card this year? It's still happening in November?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
It's happening. I got no updates on it yet, though.
And then this one, I don't know if you saw, I assume you did, Vince McMahon retired after a long time. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Obviously, as an iconic promoter, not in your business, but in a similar business.
I have a lot of respect for Vince. Vince and I have battled over the years. Vince has stuck the old fucking butcher knife in my back a couple times.
He has. There's the famous stories of him paying someone not to show up or whatever. Like, how did that smooth over?
He has purposely gone out of his way to stick the hatchet in my back when he didn't even need to stick the hatchet in my back. Vince McMahon is a killer, man. He's a killer. What he built that business into and what he's done is unbelievable. And I hope that whatever he goes on to next, he's happy and does his thing. What he's accomplished in his life is amazing.
Of course. Do you know Triple H or Stephanie McMahon or Nick Khan, the new team that's going to be running the business?
I know all those guys.
I was just curious. Yeah, I know some of them appeared at the last UFC pay-per-view, actually. While Adesanya was doing his Undertaker entrance, they were all front row for it.
I'll tell you another funny fucking story. So Ronda goes over to the WWE, right? So she hits me up and she's like, I want you to come to my first wrestling match. It's so important. I want you to be there. I said, Ronda, I wouldn't miss it for the world. It's in New Orleans, right? So she tells the McMahons that, I'm coming. So they're going to have tickets for me, right? So I show up in the New Orleans arena. I go to the, they don't have me come in the back or anything. I go to the box. I get my tickets. They're like, yeah, there's no tickets here for you. I have to call a couple people. They're going around. My fucking seats were in the motherfucking raffle, okay? This is so no bullshit. My seats were so fucking bad at the WWE, the first Ronda thing. The people that were sitting around me were saying, why are you sitting in these seats? I said, hey, these are the fucking seats Vince gave me. I'm going to fucking sit in them right here. This is it.
They eventually brought you to the front, though, right? Because I remember seeing you on camera. No?
Sat in my Remember when they showed me on camera?
Yeah, yeah.
The fucking cameraman had to climb over fucking people, and get in there and ask some guy to get this fucking seat so that he could shoot that.
Oh shit, That's funny. What a power move from Vince. You think he knew?
They're vicious. They're fucking vicious.
I'm shocked that you and Vince seemingly have a good relationship after all the backstabbing and whatnot. You seem like a grudge guy, no?
What are you gonna do?
I guess you just have to respect it at that point.
When you're dealing with a fucking killer, you're dealing with a killer. It's not like, oh, I think Vince is Mr. Nice Guy and he's gonna do this and that for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, trust me.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, Dana.
That's the only time I've ever fucking told that story. I've never told that story before.
Well, I appreciate it.
I got a laundry list. A laundry list.
Vince stories?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull them out of you one by one. I'm gonna get all the Vince stories one day.
Yeah.
I appreciate the time. Contender Series tonight. It's going to be a great card. And then obviously UFC 277 on Saturday. The arena is going to be going nuts. I don't know if they'll be going London nuts, but hell, maybe they'll try.
Thanks, buddy.